Hello, Chevre, how are you? I hope you're all gesund, stark und freilich, begashmis und beruchnis. I hope you're all doing well, healthy, strong, and happy, physically and spiritually. Hashem should help that all those that need a refuah shalema, a healing, should be healed immediately, completely, and Hashem should stop the magefa now. Today we're going to continue on the theme of Lechatchila Ariber. As I mentioned before, this is an all-encompassing principle of the Rebbe, and we see it throughout all the Rebbe's works and talks and writings, etc. And it's very fundamental and very important in day-to-day life. And before we continue, we'll start as usual with a pasuk from the Rebbe's new kapitel, and we'll show also from that pasuk a concept of Lechatchila Ariber. Today's theme is going to be think like a winner. And the pasuk is Samach Vov of Kapitel Kufyetes. Tov tam ודעת למדני כי במצותיך האמנתי, which means teach me good reason and knowledge, for I trust in your commandments. Or as it's translated somewhere else, teach me the goodness and wisdom of the Torah's reasons, for I believe in your commandments. So what this means is, like for example, you say you have a product. You're a salesman, you're a CEO of a company, and you have a product and you believe in the product. Think like a winner. Your product is the best product in the world. And therefore, you see this product, it's the wonder drug. It's an amazing tonic. It's good for your complexion, it's good for your brains, it's good for your muscles, it's good for your character traits. Imagine. So that's what it means. Tov tam ודעת למדני. Teach me about your commandments, the mitzvahs of Hashem. I want to hear about all the amazing deeper reasons. I want to hear about the levels of delight that are involved in the commandments. I want to hear about the knowledge. And it's infinite, since it is from God. And the Eibishtan is wisdom are one, and the Eibishtan is will are one. So the mitzvahs are infinity. They have infinite wisdom, infinite goodness, and they're good on every single level. In the language of Chassidus, we would call it, there's etzem and there's giluyim. There's etzem, what it is in essence. It is a part of God, the commandments. And then there's in giluyim, the benefits, the outcomes, the results, which are also infinite. In other words, it's good through and through on every level. So you could translate it like Tov tam ודעת למדני. Show me the gishmak, the enjoyment, the pleasure of a mitzvah. There's a level where it's pashut pleasurable, it's gishmak, it's enjoyable. There's nothing as enjoyable. There's nothing as good and sweet and amazing and wonderful and great like a mitzvah. And this is what the pasuk is talking about. You tell Hashem and you ask Hashem, show me more, show me deeper, show me higher levels, more layers of the amazing product, of the amazing mitzvahs of Hashem. So that's what it means when we say think like a winner. There's more and more and more benefits and goodness and profits that are in this thing. So I think today, when we're speaking about Lechatchila Ariber and we talk about the Rebbe, we should go back to what I believe is the ultimate Lechatchila Ariber. Thinking like a winner. Now when we say think like a winner, it doesn't mean that you're going to get the prize. It means that you're going big. So for a person, what that means is you have an image of infinity or a higher authority or a giant calling, and you dedicate yourself to something which is bigger than yourself. So by the Rebbe, everyone knows the first Farbrengen of Yud Shvat, Tafshin Yud Aleph, when he officially accepted the leadership of Chabad, he told everyone, this is the last generation of exile and the first generation of Geula. In other words, we're going for Moshiach. Now we're so used to this language, we don't realize how unbelievable Lechatchila Ariber this is. In other words, as we gave the analogy of the king who says, I'm opening up my palace, and all the chambers are open for a person to stuff his pockets with whatever treasures he finds. Then you have the person who settles for the silver, and then the gold, and then the diamonds. We spoke about this already, but there's one person who says, I'm going for the king himself. And then we said that once he gets the king himself, he'll get everything anyways because the king owns everything. So similarly over here, let's stop for a second and think what this means. When the Rebbe says, we're going for Moshiach, it's coming out of the Rebbe's absolute selflessness that he wants to be reunited and he wants to bring, so to speak, God throughout the whole world. The ultimate objective, the ultimate total mission statement. L'saken olam b'malchus Shaddai. And there will come a day where the entire world will cry out to Hashem that there is only one existence, and that is the reality of Hashem. So let's say imagine a chassid made a gathering in Madison Square Garden, or similar like we had the Siyam Hashas. Recently, there's a gathering, there's 90,000 people, and imagine it's 150,000 people. And Jews that never put on tefillin before, and they all put on tefillin for the first time, and they cried out, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, and you wrote that to the Rebbe. The Rebbe would say, yes, I'm very happy to hear the good news, but that's it? Only 150,000? These sort of stories happened. Why? Because the Rebbe is living with the objective that it's not about 150,000. First of all, it's about 16 million Yidden that are all expressing the Jewishness. But wait, there's more. Then we're talking about the 5 billion people on the planet that should be keeping Sheva Mitzvahs B'nai Noach. So imagine you have a tzaddik who dedicated his life to this cause. And every single day of his life, that's what he lives for. So no matter what he's accomplished, he might think to himself, thank God we accomplished more today than we accomplished yesterday. But if I measure it up to the ultimate objective, we haven't done it. And this is true in life in general. You always have two types of people. Imagine you have a rich man. One rich man, he dedicates his life to give charity. Fine, it's great, it's wonderful. But imagine another rich man who lives in a community. He says, my objective is that not one person in this community does not own a home. What's going to be the difference between these two people? One of them is going to do whatever he can, but then he sleeps peacefully at night. The other one made a plan that every single member of his community is owning a house, and he will do everything in his power to make that happen. He is not sleeping peacefully at night because he dedicated himself to a higher cause, and everything is involved in actualizing that. And the same thing is, you can go on and on. There's two scientists. They get up and they win the Nobel Prize. One gets up to get a prize, and he picks up the prize. He says, "We're amazing. Look at us. Look how much we know." Then you have another scientist. He gets up, he's called, he wins his prize. He gets up and he says, "My friends, I want to tell you, even though we know a lot, there's more that we don't know. I can promise you this second scientist is the one who's going to go much, much further and accomplish much, much more in life because he has humility and he's in awe. He's in awe of the greater knowledge that he doesn't know yet, and he's constantly pursuing it more and more." So this is an example of what it means, think like a winner. He's going for more, and therefore in the end he's going to accomplish more. So even though in the end sometimes we don't accomplish the ultimate objective, but still because you're thinking like a winner, you'll accomplish much more. And that's what it means, Lechatchila Ariber. And like we gave the example, another lesson about someone is sick. You have one level where he gets healed, but there's still remnants. Let's say he's limping. You could tell there's scars. Second level, not only he heals in a way that there's no more scars. He's as good as ever. But then there's a third level, he's not as good as ever, he's better than ever. And that's what it means to think in a way of Lechatchila Ariber. And the Rebbe always thought like that. Yesterday, we spoke about the 6-Day War and the Gulf War. Today I want to bring another example where we saw it clearly. In 1973, in the Yom Kippur War, there was somebody by the name of Ari Morgenstern, and he came to the Rebbe on Simchas Torah. So in America, it's Leil Simchas Torah, the day after Shmini Atzeres. And he is an Israeli living in America, and he came with a couple of other members of the Israeli consulate. And the Yom Kippur War was on then. And the Rebbe spoke to them. There's the whole shul in the main synagogue of 770. There's 5,000 people, 6,000 people, and the Rebbe is focused on these Israelis who are in contact with Israel, and there's a war going on. And the Rebbe is telling them that he wants them tonight, because for them it's already after Yontif. They don't have to keep 2 days. He wants them tonight to go and call Israel and tell the defense minister and the prime minister that they must conquer Damascus. Because Syria is the main enemy of Israel. Syria has to have a downfall. The key to peace in the region is conquering Syria and bringing them down. So what happened was that they called Israel. There were a couple of people, different people reached out to different offices, Golda Meir and Moshe Dayan. And at that time, in the end, the Israeli Defense Department were scared of Russian intervention. And they felt that if they would go all the way to Damascus, then Russia would enter the war and it would be terrible. And the Rebbe spoke to them about that also, saying Russia is not going to do that, and America really wants you to do it, to conquer Syria. They just can't tell it to you explicitly. And the point is, here you have a classic example. Moshe Dayan and the Israeli army just regained the borders that they lost. So they were attacked. Israel was attacked by Syria. They regained the borders that were pre-Yom Kippur War, and they stopped. And the Rebbe is saying, go, go, go. It shouldn't be as it was before. It should be more. You advance. Now, when I heard this story, as usual, I was thinking, the Rebbe thinks like a winner. Turn a disadvantage into advantage. And second of all, I was thinking, imagine if they would listen to the Rebbe. Who knows? Who knows what the Mideast would look like today? Who knows, as the Rebbe said, what sort of peace would have been brought to the region? So it's taking a situation, and instead of thinking just to regain, we have to think profit, more, greater, higher, deeper, etc. Maybe she should help that in all areas of our lives, we should go with this attitude of thinking like a winner, which means we demand a lot because we have an idea of a bigger picture. We have an idea of infinity. We have an idea of a higher calling, a higher authority, a cause which is greater than ourselves. And once we go with such an attitude, there's no question about it that the Eibishter will show us return and success according to our more than our input. And it should cause also, as the Rebbe said, that we are the last generation of exile and the first generation of redemption, so too it should be that through our attitude of Lechatchila Ariber, Hashem should bring the Gula Mitzvah Shleima now. Posting from my home, Be'ez Hashem Yisborech, your man in Melbourne.